We're rolling.
Thank you. All righty, we have a quorum, and I'd like to call a meeting of Tuesday, October 21st, 2025 to order, acting under the provisions of the Code of the Town of Barnstable, Chapter 112-1 through 112-7. The Historical Commission will hold a public hearing on the following applications. These have been determined significant and were referred to a public hearing. This meeting of the Barnstable Historical Commission is being recorded and broadcast on the Town of Barnstable's Government Access Channel. In accordance with Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 30A, Section 20, the chair must inquire whether anyone else is recording this meeting, and if so, to please make their presence known. Any recordings? No, seeing none, thank you. We ask that during the afternoon's proceedings, cell phones be turned off and conversations other than those before the commission take place outside the room. When an application is called, please come to the table and sign in here on the sign-in sheet. All interested parties and abutters who wish to comment should come forward at that time, and also those wishing to speak should sign in as well. First order of business is a roll call attendance, and I want to say we have a clerk whom we elected at the last meeting. Should the clerk take the attendance? Is that the normal way?
Yes.
Yes.
We do it both ways, but yeah, I think that's.
I think why not
You wanna
initiate?
jump right in?
You
Sure.
like jump right in.
First time. All right. So, Robert Frazee,
Present.
Nancy Shoemaker.
Here.
Andrew Fisher.
Here.
John Richmond. Here.
Very good.
That's it.
Others noted as absent. Okay, moving right to the first item on our agenda is Susan Ambrose Trust, 76 Barnstable Road, Hyannis, map 327, parcel 059, built 1920. Full demolition, demolish the entire structure. Sir, if you'd like to come up and have a seat, sign in, and just let us know really quickly what's you've got in mind, great. We got our fishing stories out of the system, into our systems already, so we won't waste any time with that.
Long completed statewide construction.
Okay.
The building is pretty much in disrepair. Nothing to say than that, and we just like to take down, pretty much.
To me, this is an example of a building I probably would have done an administrative pass on, just in the same, looking at Nancy, because she and I usually collaborated on those decisions, and just to make this simpler and faster, I give that as a preliminary. Any of you have any questions about the building? Can we go by and look at it? I looked at it today, and it's an early 20th century industrial commercial building that's pretty tired and has had a number of modifications to it. I don't think it has any architectural or historic significance that we should pin our hats on. And I am remiss, I did not open the public hearing formally, and I should have done so. I should do that and then close it at the same time, if you don't mind. Sorry about that. Miss Erica already, sorry, Corey. She usually gives me an elbow. So should the clerk ask for that, or should the chair ask for that? It's the first time with an outing with a clerk. I will. So would someone please make a motion to open the public hearing?
I move that we open the public
Would
hearing.
someone please second that?
Seconded.
All in favor, please say
Aye.
aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. We've already had our hearing. Shall we assume that we have spoken our piece? And, okay, should we?
Public has-
Right. Any member of the public wish to speak to this matter? We have no correspondence on the subject. Okay. Motion to close the public hearing, please.
I hereby move to close the public hearing.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Hearing is closed. Could we have someone read the motions for this one, please?
Let me read it? Okay.
You don't have to do everything.
I don't care. All right. Nice. First time. Okay. I move that after review and consideration of public testimony, the application and associated materials, the significant building, 76 Barnstable Road, Hyannis, is a preferably preserved significant building.
Second it.
And I was just gonna say, an aye vote determines that the full demolition is detrimental, demolition delay is imposed. And it's a roll call.
And nay, it is not. So roll call. Nancy Shoemaker,
Nay, right?
right? Yes,
Yeah.
nay. Andrew Fisher,
Nay.
Robert Frazee,
Nay.
John Richmond, nay. All right, so I now move that in accordance with section 112-3G The Barnstable Historical Commission determines that the full demolition of the preferably preserved significant building located at 76 Barnstable Road, Hyannis, is detrimental.
It's right.
No, I think
No.
you wanna,
Oh, I see.
you wanna
If it
drop
passes,
down a
I'm
one.
sorry. It is, the 76 Barnstable Road is not detrimental to the historical, cultural, and architectural heritage or resources of the town.
I'll second that.
I vote determines that the full demolition of the single-family structure is not detrimental and no demolition delay will be imposed.
All right, roll call, Nancy Shoemaker.
Aye.
Andrew Fisher.
Aye.
Robert Frazee.
Aye.
John Richmond, aye.
Great. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too, take care. Second item, Elizabeth and Michael Fish, trustees, 545 Seaview Avenue, Osterville, map 114, parcel 047/001, built 1947. Full demolition, demolish the existing dwelling. I'm sorry.
Hi, how are you?
Great, thank you.
I'm Matt Schiffer, I'm an architect, Hudger Architects.
You can ask
Michael Fish.
Oh, yeah, you need to sign it.
Oh,
Thanks. I think the crux of the conversation, as you've already anticipated, revolves around, is there a significant building there to be preserved? And
Correct.
you approach that in your narrative, and I think if you wanna approach that with that being the main focus, you'll save yourself some time. We'll be
Yes,
fine, you
that's
know.
what-
Maybe I
that's
didn't
what
need to
we'd
say
like
that,
to
but
do.
sometimes I do.
Sure.
Right? Alrighty,
Yeah.
thank you.
I'll let me sign in here.
It's a beautiful location. You know
Very
that.
exciting.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, so, this is at 545 Seaview Avenue in Osterville. And, we have a map right here where it's located. It's, this is Seaview Ave. This is, the Weano Historic District and the HDC. It's well outside of that right here. You can see like where it's located right here too in a general sense. The house itself, I'll start with the front. So a number of things that we noted about this was, you know, primarily the window proportions, the 6/6 lights are square. They're not like a classic, like New England colonial 6:9 ratio. So that's kind of incorrect. The house itself was built in 1947. It had a significant addition done to it in 1981 that we researched. And I think this was added right here. So one thing we were saying about that was the later built garage. You never see a garage like this right in front of a house in a really classic historic house. And it kind of overwhelms and takes over the whole front elevation. And we also thought, you know, another thing is on the approach, you wouldn't see like garage doors immediately. It'd be off to the side. So it didn't seem like it was very sympathetic to the original structure. On the rear of the house here, we're looking at this. This gable was added in 1981, and all the fenestration was redone. So it's all Anderson windows with white trim and casement windows. And then Anderson sliders have been used here. This was all done in 1981. And it's sort of become like, I would say the ratio of the new portion of the house relative to the existing portion is greater than the existing portion right now. I'd say it's like 60% of it. And this was the existing part right here, but it's kind of like been completely, you know, taken over by the new addition. And at this point, it's like, I think it's lost any kind of historical significance. Yeah, we're seeing the sidewall of the garage addition was inconsistent with the materials on the front of the house right here. The arch garage door openings are inconsistent with what you would see in a really classic colonial. Even the nature of this, it's like it's got 4 windows going across here, and then it looks like the center entry has 3 windows on this side, And if there were windows over there, it'd have 2 windows on that side. So it's just not it's not like it was done in a, you know, really beautiful, authentic colonial manner. So we're making the case that it's not historically significant in any manner. Erica, we contacted her in the town and she said it wasn't recorded on an historical register. So we're asking for permission to just take it down.
Well, I think you covered the bases. I didn't. I'm off my game today. I'm sorry. I need again a motion to open a public hearing.
So moved.
Seconded.
Thank you. All in favor of public
All in
hearing?
favor?
Aye.
And opposed? None. Okay, officially, we're in the hearing now. We should have been about 5 minutes ago, and I apologize for that. Again, I think most of the applications that we have today are ones that I've looked at pretty carefully, and I agree that, in my opinion, that's not a building that is historically or architecturally significant, but I wanted these guys to be in the room and hear the program and see the graphics and understand it, and I'm interested to know if you or any member of the public have any comment on it at this point.
I think we should just approve it and move on to the next one.
I'm fine with that. I'm not trying to rush anybody, but I.
No, but I mean, we have a lot and it just, I
Yep.
can't defend it as historical, so.
I agree.
I'm a little sad that the main part of the house from 1947 could have been saved, but
I agree.
I
Well-
understand with the 3 additions, but
So they can be. The trick is, you know, in terms of our jurisdiction, we don't really have any say in that unless there's a significance both architecturally or either architecturally or historically. And I don't think either of those things is documented or provable. So we're kind of where we're at. And we can all get a little sentimental about old buildings, especially since they're right around when we were born, so. Anyway, could I have a motion to close the public hearing?
has the public
What, did everybody
spoken?
speak who wished to? I thought, again, I'm not trying to rush anybody, but I sort of am rushing. Then have a motion to close the public hearing?
Okay.
I move to open I move to close the public hearing.
And a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor of closing the public hearing?
Aye.
Any opposed? No? Alrighty, could we have someone reading the motions for
Alright,
this
so-
property?
Motion 1, I move that after review and consideration of public testimony, the application and associated materials, the significant building at 545 Seaview Avenue, Osterville, is a preferably preserved significant building.
I will second that.
Thank you.
Vote aye or nay.
So an aye will impose an 18-month delay, a nay will not impose an 18-month delay. And Mr. Clerk, a roll call vote, please.
All right, so Nancy Shoemaker,
Nay.
Andrew Fisher,
Nay.
Robert Frazee,
Nay.
John Richmond, nay. Okay, move along. I move that in accordance with section 112-3F, the Barnstable Historical Commission determines that the full demolition of the building located 545 Seaview Avenue, Osterville, is not detrimental to the historical, cultural, and architectural heritage or resources of the town.
1 second, please.
I'll second that.
Thank you. An aye vote determines that the full demolition of the single-family structure is not detrimental and no demolition delay will be imposed.
Roll call vote, Nancy Shoemaker.
Aye.
Andrew Fisher.
Aye.
Robert Frazee.
Aye.
John Richmond, aye.
We did it.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming in,
Have a
I
good
really
night.
appreciate it. Enjoy this very blustery October day out there.
It was 65 at one point today.
Yeah, I didn't feel it. Alrighty. Laurie and Michael Ewald, 134 Weano Avenue, Osterville, map 141, parcel 007, built 1938. Full demolition, demolish the existing dwelling.
Do we need to move to
Sure,
open the
welcome.
public hearing?
Nice to see you, sir.
Should we
I
move?
will thank you for the reminder. Don't hesitate. Could I please have a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
And a second?
Seconded.
All in favor of opening the public hearing?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. We're in it.
Okay,
Sir, thank you for coming in.
this is somewhat different in that there was a house at one time built in 1938, but in 2010, 15 years ago,
Mhm.
the house was essentially demolished and a new house was constructed by someone else. And then our client bought the house and they wished to remove the 2010 construction and build a new house. And this is a photograph from the house that was built in 1938.
Do you know when that was taken? I'm just curious, ballpark.
I think it was probably,
Not long before it was changed, right? Yeah, this is my guess too.
so this is the current house, which is a 2010 construction. Not particularly well built. And we looked at doing a renovation, and for the amount of changes they needed to do to bring it to where their program was, it was determined it was less expensive and more appropriate to just remove the house that's there. So that's essentially what we're doing.
I think you made a good case in your literature first, and again here, similarly to the last building. I wondered if, because I drove by, from the street, there's a lot of curb appeal for what's there, in my personal opinion. But I don't mean that it looks historic.
From the proposed.
No, it's not as opposed, I'm just saying, you're fine. And so when I saw that, I came home and I did the Google Map, the GIS Air Map Air View thing, and I just wanna pass these around. That's the old building, oops, sorry, I didn't mean to hand it to you wrong side up. And this is the current building, and if just looking down at the roof lines and the shapes, you see the dramatic imposition of the new structure over the original. And if I wasn't convinced, that personally, that convinced me. Any of you guys have any questions? Any thoughts? Anybody here from the public wish to comment on this or have any thoughts on this one? Okay. You see what I mean? It's, you can find, if you worked hard, you could find a shape. I didn't have time to take a red pen and go around it, but there's not much there.
That house was beautiful.
It is.
The original house.
Oh, the original one was.
Yeah, it was nice. This one isn't bad either, but
That's kind of what I meant.
tastes change.
I guess I I understand, but I hate to see demolitions for many reasons, but this one, the lumber. And the older the lumber is in general, the stronger it will be, so it's too bad they couldn't save that part of the house.
Well, that's a fair question whenever there's a demolition, if there's any
Can I-
lumber that's old enough to have a higher quality in
The
the
point is
timber,
that there's no old lumber left.
Not even in the core
Ah.
building. Okay,
So-
that's a fair
Nothing
point,
matches
and I
up.
wasn't sure.
If I could also just add to that. When we had a demolition of an exceptionally old building, and I called around hoping that some of it could be saved. And what I actually discovered was that there's no market for it, okay? The people who stock it have to store it.
Yeah.
And sit on it, hoping that somebody will do an historical renovation.
It's gonna have to be very special in
And
order
they
for that to be.
kind of feel like they have plenty of inventory. Thank you very much for your
Okay,
interest.
thank you, John. I appreciate actually the reminder on that, because as you said it, I remembered hearing it. Could we have a motion to close the public hearing then?
I move that we close the public
In
hearing.
a second?
Seconded.
All in favor of closing the public hearing? Say
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Done? Public hearing is closed.
Move on.
We read the motions for 134 Leano Avenue.
I move that after review and consideration of public testimony, the application and associated materials, the significant building, 134 Weano Avenue, Osterville, is a preferably preserved significant building.
And a second.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Nancy. An aye vote will impose an 18-month delay, a nay vote will not impose an 18-month delay. Mr. Clerk?
Nancy Shoemaker.
Nay.
Andrew Fisher.
Nay.
Robert Frazee.
Nay.
John Richmond, nay.
Excellent.
So, then, I move that in accordance with section 112-3F, the Barnstable Historical Commission determines that the full demolition of the building located 134 Weano Avenue, Osterville, is not detrimental to the historical, cultural, and architectural heritage or resources of the town.
And a second, please.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Nancy. An aye vote determines that the full demolition of the single-family structure is not detrimental. No demolition delay will be imposed.
Okay, Nancy Shoemaker,
Aye.
Andrew Fisher,
Aye.
Robert Frazee,
Aye.
John Richmond, aye. There you go. There you go.
Very much.
Thank you very much for coming in. I appreciate it. You too, sir. Cheers. All righty.
More odds.
So Carolyn and James Mahoney, 54 Hawes Avenue, Hyannis map 324, parcel 077, built 1920. Partial demolition, remove low-pitch rubber roof above first floor entryway at the rear of the building. remove portion of wall and windows to the west side of the house, and remove a portion of the west-facing exterior wall to accommodate new second floor addition.
So I move that we open a public hearing.
Thank you so very much. Is there a second?
Seconded.
All in favor of opening the public hearing?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, we're in a public hearing. You guys are catching on. This is good.
So
Welcome.
my name's Peter McDonald, I'm the architect in this project. We're not tearing the building down, we're not looking for demolition, we are taking a couple of windows out and opening in the wall and doing a modest bedroom, bathroom addition to the rear of this house. I think we're improving the back of the house anyway by using more traditional roof forms than flat roof. So I think it's worth doing.
Did any of you guys manage a drive-by to have a look? I did today.
Drive by, but didn't we have, don't you have pictures?
We submitted pictures, yeah.
Yeah, we saw
there you go.
Yeah.
See that?
That's the street side.
Mhm.
So ours is on the other side.
Which is important to note, it's the rear of the building too,
Yeah.
of course, and I
But yeah, we
appreciate
drove
that.
by.
That is where the flat roof is. Everything, yeah, and that's our addition, that our bedroom and bathroom addition. We added that pitch roof to the over the flat roof.
Okay. Cool. That's the program layout. And the new roofs.
And the roofs. So in the street, you're not dead on from the front, but you're not gonna see anything. You're gonna see something from the side.
You're not changing the footprint of the building, it's really just a second floor, right?
It's inside the footprint, yes.
Any questions, commissioners? Anyone in the public have a question about this? Comment? I don't believe we received anything in writing. I would entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
I move that we close the public hearing.
And a second.
Seconded.
All in favor of closing the public hearing, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Not hearing any. Public hearing is closed. Reading the motions.
All right. I move that after review and consideration of public testimony, the application and associated materials, the significant building, 54 Hawes Avenue, Hyannis, is a preferably preserved significant building. Second?
Second the motion.
Thank you. An aye vote will impose an 18-month delay, a nay vote will not impose an 18-month delay. Mr. Clerk?
Roll call, Nancy Shoemaker.
Nay.
Andrew Fisher.
Nay.
Robert Frazee.
Nay.
John Richmond, nay. All right. Therefore, I move that in accordance with section 112-3F, the Barnstable Historical Commission determines that the partial demolition of the building located 54 Hawes Avenue, Hyannis, is not detrimental to the historical, cultural, and architectural heritage or resources of the town.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Nancy. An aye vote determines that the partial demolition of the single-family structure is not detrimental and no demolition delay will be imposed. Mr. Clerk?
Nancy Shoemaker.
Aye.
Andrew Fisher.
Aye.
Robert Frazee.
Aye.
John Richmond, aye.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you very
I
much.
know it probably seems simple, but
I did
Oh,
sign
yeah,
it.
you did.
Oh,
it helps the whole process to have people in here and letting us take an actual look at these things. So I'm grateful. And you're doing something much less on your street than half
Well,
your neighbors are, and I think you know that already.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, right.
we
Yes.
appreciate it.
thank you.
That here's gonna be Hyannis Park too.
Yeah. All righty. The James Goodwin Trust, 644 Strawberry Hill Road, Hyannis, map 249, parcel 088, built 1920. Full demolition, demolish the existing dwelling.
We move that we open a public hearing.
We will open up.
Second that.
And all in favor of opening a public hearing?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, we're in a public hearing. Would you like to come up and speak to
Yeah,
this?
I just had some questions for you
Of
guys.
course.
I've never been here.
Well, that's
Well,
okay.
years ago I was, but
All's good. Just sign in and have a seat or relax and,
I'm kind of getting a feel for what you're doing.
yeah, I
And we
know,
promise
so
to
are we. We're with our first day with our clerk on assignment who's doing a spectacular job, and it threw me off my stride a little, so
Does.
that's very helpful.
It happens.
It does.
So we promise we're not gonna grill you too hard.
No,
You can
no,
try, it
probably
won't
not.
work. I guess a couple of questions is one, you guys only care if it's historic, correct?
Yes.
Pretty much, yes.
Historic,
So-
either significant by virtue of being
Right.
historic or architecturally significant,
I
right?
get that.
Fair enough.
So I guess I'm kind of wondering that, first of all, that's an awful picture of the house. I've seen the house, and until right before the COVID, it was being rented.
Mm-hmm.
My concern is it's gonna be raised to extend that parking lot over there.
Ah.
They already have a curb cut for the front part of the parking lot, and it's a problem traffic-wise. I live across the street.
Good for you, I was
Not
there
the
today.
house
Almost
across
got
the
hit by
street,
a
but in
truck.
the condo. And I'm up and down that intersection all the time, and it's already a mess there.
Mm-hmm,
And with the construction they're doing again on 28, it's gonna impact it even more for detours. I mean, you have no idea how bad it is there. It's worse when the high school is letting out, where the high school is coming together, and the elementary school, and then you've got the charter school. So we're dealing with 3 schools on that street, releasing at different times, and I just think this is a huge mistake. We have no affordable housing in the town, and I don't see why this house could not be fixed up to take advantage of a home that's in a neighborhood with neighbors, real people, even though it's deemed commercial. And I think you're making a big mistake by not looking into it a little bit further in general in the town, not historical necessarily. But my understanding is it was built in 1920. And as I said, right before the COVID, it was being rented. And there were kids in there. You could hear them laughing and playing on their bikes and stuff. And I'm just kind of questioning, where's the town going? Every time I turn around, well, even here today, those 2 first beautiful houses, they're taking them down because obviously they want bigger houses. They probably have water views.
bigger or different, or something like that.
I'm gonna say bigger from what I saw from the last yellow one, okay? That was like 5
I'm not
times.
disagreeing with you.
5 times the size of the house that was there.
Correct.
And I think it's pathetic that you guys, not you,
I
again,
understand.
are heading in this direction where there's so many issues in the town with affordable housing. Can anybody, shed some light? 'Cause what I'm finding is the longer I've lived here, you guys don't know what they're doing. They don't know what the Board of Health is doing. The Board of Health doesn't know what the DPW is doing. And the town manager doesn't seem to know what anybody's doing because he's never around. And I'm not trying to take it out on you
They
guys.
do eventually, it goes in order of groups for permits.
Right,
so
well, I
they
only,
do.
the first time I've had to deal with, not you guys, ever, well, except for the Barnstable Comedy Club, but the Board of Health. And they did not know what the town was passing out for information to have the septic put in where we are, have that taken out and put in the sewer. Nobody had any idea that 3 other departments had their own little thing going on.
So our jurisdiction or view of this
It's
is
just
pretty
historical.
small. And honestly, I'm hearing every word you're saying. I parked in front of it briefly today, and as I started to leave, I almost got run down by a big semi.
I'm telling you, it's
And
dreadful.
I didn't see it in my rearview mirror because I was so close to the edge. It's a busy space.
Can I ask you where
Yes,
you
ma'am.
were, where you were parked?
Oh, hi.
I was in that meeting.
Yeah, I was too, and there was no sign or anything. I saw somebody else come in.
So I wanna
here,
ask
so-
a stupid question at this stage of the conversation. You live across the street, you're not here to propose that this is a good idea, obviously.
Well, I'm a neighbor. I got
That's
the
okay.
notice in the
No,
mail.
that's fine. You're,
I can.
absolutely you can.
Okay.
Are you also a neighbor? Are you an owner or? Okay, a neighbor and a butter. So there's nobody here as a proponent for this project. Does that sound right? That sounds right. Okay, it's unusual, but it's not the end of the world.
Well, can I ask
See if
you,
there's somebody else out in the waiting area, just to be on the safe
Yeah, that
side.
could
can I
be.
ask you where you were parked?
Yeah, absolutely.
The real estate trust is no lawyer, oh my god.
Right there.
You know,
Oops, I forgot I was supposed to touch the screen.
They might have
That's something I would do.
No, I know better.
Can I go backwards?
It will, but he needs to come and push the button for me.
oh,
Sorry.
you
Anyway.
wanna sign in?
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
I
if
do.
you wish to speak, good,
Yeah.
thank you, Nancy, just to sign in. Yeah, it's really unusual to have
I
somebody
just
up
find
for
it
a
weird
hearing,
that,
not have
like,
someone
you
here
guys should have like
for it.
one member that gets together with all the other departments and try and get everything on the
So,
same page.
I'm hearing what you're saying, our jurisdiction is not traffic or septic
get that.
or whether this is a bright idea or not.
I get
I
that.
wish in some days it was, and I'm really glad some days it's not.
Ah,
You're here
So
because the
it's
building was
coming.
built early enough to qualify for our
Wow.
consideration.
I think it should be.
Ah, very good.
wow.
Sorry, we kind of got rolling and I know who is who. If you would sign in, please, and just, let us know who you are and for the
Zachary
record.
Raj with Topaz Contracting.
Yeah, and let us know what's up.
So 644 Strawberry Hill Road,
Mhm.
we're looking to,
Have a seat,
can you have these?
so they can kind of see what's going
Can
on.
you
Oh,
guys-
sure,
Here we go. Awesome,
They
thank you.
signed in also.
I know, can they sit down
Oh,
while he presents
sure.
and so
Yeah,
Absolutely.
add a little.
Um, So yeah, we're looking to just remove the existing building. All the disconnects, everything's disconnected as far as electricity, power. And yeah, we're just, I believe the abutters notices were sent out, so everyone's aware. And
Which
Can I
gets
ask
to
a
a really,
question?
Yes, certainly.
I'm taking when you had to put in a new septic for the garage part and the auto dealer, that you decided not to put it in that house? You didn't change the house over from septic to sewer? If the electricity's been shut off and,
It's just been vacant from what my understanding is, I don't believe.
well, it's only been vacant since the COVID.
So, 2 years now.
It's a little,
What they're planning to do is just turn it into basically a parking lot.
That's
We're
my
not looking to-
concern.
yeah, that's what I
Looking
said.
to,
So our concern here is whether it's a historically significant or architecturally significant building. I don't personally believe that it is either. I'm sympathetic to the comments that this has elicited. Not that we have jurisdiction to do anything with them,
I'm just
but I'm
saying.
glad you heard this. And one of the reasons that we have moved to requesting a public hearing for buildings that we already maybe think aren't historically significant for sure is to vet the process more plainly. And also it triggers abutters notices, so you guys get to hear what's going on. And I think that's a fair thing. It's not to get in the way of a project by any means, but to make a more even playing field for everyone.
Could we go back to that other shot on the screen?
The top-down
The
view.
aerial, yeah.
The aerial view of that
Yeah.
one, yes.
This, if you were parked here, which way was the semi-tractor coming from, the intersection or from Strawberry Hill?
There was traffic coming from both directions, but I was watching my rearview mirrors, make sure I didn't pull out in front of somebody.
One of the tremendous hazards right here is them flying out of Honda,
It's okay.
out of
Gotcha.
here. So you're watching traffic this way and this way, just
Yeah.
behind this house right here.
Well, the good news is that the red truck coming out of the Honda dealership that didn't hit me stopped and looked. But I hear you. I mean, anybody, so maybe they'll wanna put a stop sign there facing the
I
Honda
think they
parking
should.
lot or
I
something, you
think
never
that-
know.
I would like to know what access to Strawberry Hill is gonna be from here, because if you have
Exactly.
uncontrolled access,
Mhm.
this should be blocked off.
So you should speak to the planning department, Corey, planning, is it site plan review for something like
Site
this?
plan review, yeah, through the building commissioner.
Through the building
Yeah.
commissioner, okay. you can speak
So
to
we
the
have no
building-
plans other than just to get rid of the building itself.
No, I hear
So
you,
any
but you
future
can
plans
see
that
where
they-
something might be
Well,
going
I
next,
can-
and
I can
it's
totally understand,
a
like, you
thing to
know,
be sympathetic with.
but for.
You're gonna
for
take
all
it down
intents-
with big machinery and it was a
Yes, and just,
big truck that just
Get
about
rid of
took
it.
me out today, so I get it.
yeah,
Okay,
But you don't know if the septic was hooked up or not to sewage.
no, we filed all the
I'm gonna say
necessary
he didn't bother
documentation
because he
on
knew
that.
this was
yeah,
coming.
that should be in the records of the
That's all
building
in the records.
department rather than with us.
You know, to maybe have a sense of caring about what's going on in the neighborhood, which I think you do.
Sure, absolutely,
It
but
would- And we can't make you do this, but it would be nice if you left a line of trees
They cut them all down.
Yeah, it's
They
already,
did, they
yeah, those
ripped it.
trees are
All
gone
those
now.
trees are gone.
They hacked them, they took
That's-
them all down.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna get
It's
into
just
that at all,
bare.
but that's
Well,
true,
Well, it's
so.
part of the
Planting
property, and that's
trees.
It
why.
could be
Right.
could be revegetated in a future state,
I could-
and that's commonly the way the town does things.
yeah,
Anybody
and like I
can
said,
request
I
that.
have no connection to what they do with the property after we take, we're just,
Right,
you know, we're hired to take down the house and
I got
make
it.
sure everything's
See, I have an issue with that. So you're just doing the demolition.
yes,
correct, yes.
See, here's your problem. You've got a piece of land that we have a bunch of residential people living there. You guys can't do anything about it. There's a curb cut that they have into the parking lot that causes issues with traffic now.
mhm,
They're gonna pave it. They already took the trees down. Now we take the house down. This is all planned, believe me. And the next thing is gonna be, because they don't have enough storage for their cars. And they've been wanting to do this for a long time. So this is how they're going about it, a little at a time, a little at a time, a little at a time, till the whole thing is paved over and it's gonna be more of a mess with traffic. I will guarantee it.
This
The
is
only-
a,
The only, we need to keep moving a little bit, because we
Yeah,
need
we
to
get
make a
that, but-
determination, and I don't wanna cut you short, but I wanna suggest to you that your concerns, which sound very legitimate,
Oh, they are legit.
I believe you. You could take to several places, and I think one would be to go to public speaking at the town council meeting, and two of you together get 6 minutes. And, rehearse what you wanna say, and.
I don't rehearse, I talk from the heart. I can't
We'll
rehearse
talk fast,
something.
and, but my point is, put it in a public forum. This is being recorded, this is
Right.
a public forum too, but a larger one perhaps, and go to the.
I hope they know more than the Board of Health did.
what meeting is this?
This is the
Because
Barnstable
historical.
Historical Commission.
Okay, and who's in that room there?
That's
In the
one of
little room, that's the audiovisual department.
No, the
She's
big
talking
room.
about in the
Oh, the
big
big room,
there's
I don't know
something
who's in the hearing
back
room right now.
Yeah, somebody
all
else
right.
is meeting in there.
Yeah,
This is where we do normally
Oh.
meet.
We don't typically fill big rooms.
All right, so
Thank
your
God.
issue is that house of value historic?
Yes, and we're about to make a determination on that right
No,
now.
it's not.
Oh, is Board of Health the next one? Okay, Board of Health, Corey suggests, oh, he's next door, excuse
That's
me, I
next
get you. Right. Could I have a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second,
Seconded.
all in favor of closing the public hearing, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none?
All right, Nancy
Closed.
Shoemaker, all right, yeah, closed by acclamation. Therefore, motion one,
I didn't know it was in.
I move that after review and consideration of public testimony, the application and associated materials, the significant building, 644 Strawberry Hill Road, Hyannis, is a preferably preserved significant building.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you, Nancy, and I vote will impose an 18-month delay, and they vote will not impose an 18-month delay. Mr. Clerk?
Nancy Shoemaker,
Nay.
Andrew Fisher,
Nay.
Robert Frazee,
Nay.
John Richmond, nay. We move on to the other one. I move that in accordance with section 112-3F, the Barnstable Historical Commission determines that the full demolition of the building located 644 Strawberry Hill Road, Hyannis, is not detrimental to the historical, cultural, and architectural heritage or resources of the town.
I think resources kind of hits the mark.
Could we have a second, please?
I'll second that.
And an I vote determines
Housing.
that the full demolition of the single-family structure is not detrimental and no demolition delay would be imposed.
Okay, roll call vote. Nancy Shoemaker,
Aye.
Andrew Fisher,
Aye.
Robert Frazee,
Aye.
and John Richmond, aye.
Sorry, it took us a while to chase you
All right.
down.
Well, you're good,
This place can be
us.
confusing sometimes.
We don't know how you make out with everybody else, but you're.
I did sign it.
Yes, thank you, that's great.
Mr. Frazee,
And don't give up, please.
you had said there were several other committees to go to, and you mentioned town council. What other ones were
Well, I
you-
mentioned the council just because it's the biggest forum in town. They meet
Yep.
every other week this time of year, I think.
Well, there's a meeting Thursday.
They're meeting on Thursday and
This
they
Thursday?
hold.
This
public-
Thursday, 6
hold
o'clock,
public
6
comment.
o'clock in that big room.
They hold public
When they
comment
start-
at the beginning of their meeting. So it gives you a chance to not have to sit through a whole meeting, but to say your piece if you think you have something to say, and I believe it sounds as if you do.
If I could tell them, at the beginning of the meeting, there's a little folderol, but then there's a section for general public comment, where people just get up and say pretty much whatever they feel about, usually about a specific thing that will come later.
With time.
But that is public here, that public comment is your opportunity to get up, you go to the front, you sign in, they give you 3 minutes, you talk into the microphone, and you pretty much say what you have to say about everything, the affordable housing, traffic.
I get that, and thank you for that information, that'll be helpful. But my concern is, has it already gone on too far? Are we too late to stop this?
Probably.
Yeah, see, that's my,
I think you're too late to stop the demolition of the building. Whether you're too late to stop what happens
well, this is
next,
the
I
first
don't
notice that
honestly
we
know.
had that it was even being demolished. This is
I
the first we even
understand.
heard about it. Nobody
So
came to us as
you
a
can-
neighbor,
I think you can,
so that's my concern with how the town is
I-
doing stuff.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
but I think, so I've been involved in fights on other fronts, but I think you can ask the building department, ask them, have they approved it? In other words, to find out, have they issued a permit
There
for
has
the
been,
demolition?
I can say there hasn't been a permit issue because
This is
they
the
allowed
first
for the
thing.
demolition, now this contractor can pull a demolition permit of the house.
Well, now you can
So-
apply for a permit, I
Apply
guess.
for a permit,
Is
yes.
So
that make
that-
it the same day?
No, he still needs to go to the building department with this approval and get a demolition
So
permit.
could he go in tomorrow and say he has approval and get it?
I doubt
Until,
that it'll be signed
it
in
needs to
time.
be signed by the chair of this commission.
Can I make cookies to have you, have you hold off?
Wait,
No,
no. Does he have to?
So, yeah, it's.
I think
I'm sorry.
what's bothering is if I see all this stuff going on in the town and nobody tells you anything, it's hard to get information here.
Yeah.
It's like with the septic and the sewage, it's like what the girls from DPW are telling us is so different from the Board of Health and what they're telling us. Then you go to the town council and they've got another whole different agenda on it.
Yep.
I mean, I've lived here almost 50 years.
The
The
other
only thing
suggestion I have for you is, who is your town councilor?
it was the guy who's now the head of it, Craig
Craig?
Tamis,
Tamish, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
the president, he seems like a decent guy.
Yeah.
don't know.
Well,
Well, I think he's a
I
decent
mean, I've been
guy.
watching it on TV at home, and I tell you, the coverage is awful. It keeps stopping, it breaks, yeah, it's a
Yeah,
waste of
yeah.
time trying to watch, it's very frustrating.
So I wanted to suggest to you, we need to move on. What I wanted to suggest to you was that you reach out to your town councilor and tell him your concerns also. Because he can carry some water for you as your representative
Well, we
to
had called,
these
one of the other
boards.
women that lives in my complex had called him about it before, and he wasn't any help at all. The Board of Health was more helpful,
Okay,
so,
well, I'm gonna leave it alone.
I'm gonna talk with
Thank you, Charlie,
thank you very
I
much. I
appreciate that.
appreciate all your help,
If you
and thank
wanna
you for
take a
listening
sec
to us.
with Counselor Bloom outside, that would be great, and he can help
Thank
you a little
you.
further. My pleasure, thank you. Okay, I believe that was the last of our hearings. We have some administrative materials to deal with. I'd like to start right off with the calendar approval for 2026, which we discussed at our last meeting. Since that time, I have spoken with Jack Kay one-on-one by phone and learned from him that not only would he not be able to be here for this meeting because he's in transit to California, but he will not be able to make in-person meetings in December, January, or February. So he'd be missing at least 4 in a row. And I'm concerned about that. I'm concerned that we have 1 or 2 commissioners whose attendance is sometimes questionable, and for good reasons. I'm not criticizing anyone at all. But I would rather suggest that we adopt a calendar that was proposed initially that is back to the combination of Zooms in the off-season, so to speak, and in-person when it can be in the summer. Knowing that we all prefer in-person meetings, but I don't think they're gonna practically work for us. Nancy, yes?
I actually do prefer that we have our meetings by Zoom
Okay.
for 3 or 4 months, but I don't think I don't think you can do both. I think weren't you just saying?
I'm not saying it
You
on
know
the
that you
same
can do
day.
only
I'm
one
not
or the
saying
other.
hybrid. I'm saying
Yeah,
one or the
okay.
other, but
I thought I
a
heard
mix
it.
through the
Yeah.
year. Yeah, so it's as published, right? It's in the laser, I can hand it down to you. It's in the Laserfiche, but it's, oh, I'm sorry, there you go. It breaks out the same way we have this year. So we're going to go to a Zoom meeting next month.
Yeah.
And so the last 2 meetings of the
If we
year
vote on
are
it.
Zoom,
Yeah, I would
right?
say.
and then the first 4 meetings of next year are Zoom, if I've counted correctly, it's 4 or 5. And then we come back to being in person here
Well, our
again,
next meeting in November,
is going to be a Zoom.
so November, December, January, February,
Yeah, I'm
maybe
saying,
March,
so I think it's a total of
5.
5 meetings are Zoom and the 7 balance on a 12-month basis are in person. So we're still meeting in person more of the time than not by a fair bit. And if over time the constituency of the council changes, it's possible we can go to more in-person meetings. I think if we publish a calendar, we can be in charge of how we select which months we would do Zoom if we still do them at all. And there are advantages to it. People who have a problem making a meeting sometimes can Zoom in and be a participant if it's a Zoom meeting. So, with that in mind, I would love to have a motion to accept the 2026 calendar as presented and posted at the last meeting and here. You guys okay with
right,
that?
I move that we accept the calendar as posted.
But we were also just saying that we're gonna make this November and December of 2020.
That's already set. That's
They
in our-
are set.
That's in our 2025 calendar.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, it's
I second his
a
motion.
case of semantics more than anything, alrighty?
So she seconded it. You want a roll call vote or an acclamation?
All in favor of the calendar as it is? Could we just have
Aye.
anybody opposed? Not aye. Good, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And also on here is approval of the minutes of one of our meetings. And I brought a copy with me because I had one amendment that I wanted to read in, if I can find it in time, and I won't take forever finding it, I hope. Hold on. It's probably, part of this. So the very first page, and it's where it's quoting me, I would rephrase that sentence, and I'll read it out loud in a second. I can even leave this with you if that's helpful for you, Corey. Happy to do that. But so it's the bottom of the first page.
Okay.
All right, and so where it says commission discussion, it is originally in here, in the draft form, Bob stated that the fact that this dwelling has been swallowed by more recent additions is relatively germane, and that the focus is whether this structure has historical significance architecturally. That's close, but not quite. I re-listened to the actual comment on the video. And what I suggest is Bob stated that the fact that the original dwelling has been swallowed by more recent additions is germane to the conversation, and that the focus is on whether the structure has historical significance, period. Okay, so we already handled the architectural question. It's been subsumed by the additions. The point was, we still had to discuss the historical significance, if any, which we then did and determined there wasn't any. But it makes it a little bit less confusing to the public if they
And we
didn't
don't
see
have to
it.
vote on that because it's your words and you were explaining to the
Well,
town.
you're gonna end up accepting the minutes, so I'm
Yeah.
saying this is a proposed amendment to the minutes as
Right.
proposed earlier as a draft, and
So
so
we make a motion to approve the minutes as amended?
thank you, sir. That's perfect. Is there a second for that?
Seconded.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.
Yeah, September, are you good with the August minutes as well? Or-
The August minutes were not made available, so
Okay, so-
they're gonna come next meeting.
Okay, so.
I checked on that in the laser piece, they're not there, I asked Erica about that today
Okay,
too.
so just September, okay.
Yep, and there was going to be, so we did these. I'm just gonna hit a couple of things randomly, there's some that may take more time, so this is a reminder, next meeting, November 18th, is a Zoom meeting. That's our first Zoom meeting, just, and it'll be reminded later, but just be ready for it. Okay, Tracer artifacts, do you have sort of a report through Erica on that?
Kind of depends on how much you know about what's happening with the Tracer, but they've obviously been documented with photos and detailed descriptions. Next step is to coordinate an appraisal, and that is being done through procurement, and that's with asset
And
management.
that's already started, hasn't it?
Months ago.
I-
Appraisals.
I'm not quite sure. I
So-
think that
When
just,
did we go to see?
So let me jump in, because
Yeah.
Corey, you're right, in everything you just said,
Yeah.
I talked with Erica about it too. I don't believe the appraisal has moved forward.
Yeah.
And I believe that the individual in whose hands it was for some time has moved to a new department. And I don't know in whose hands the appraisal process will or has fallen. I think reaching out directly to David Anthony, who's in charge of the general department, is the way to go. Some of us know him personally. Whether we do it through the department or whether we do it individually, we do it both ways, just to see what's going on. I think is fair, and just one sec, John, and we've been on the record, I've been on the record, and I think Nancy you have too, of saying we're really not entirely sure why an appraisal is necessary. It's not that these artifacts are owned by the town, they really are owned by others, is yet to be determined, and I mean, maybe there's a reason, but I'd love to hear it, because it seems to be slowing everything down. Sorry, John.
What department is that?
The Department of Asset Management,
Okay, that's all.
which is Dave Anthony. And he's a great guy, and he's interested in history. His great uncle was Donald Tracer. I mean, you can't get a better pedigree chart than that for this kind of subject. So he'll be receptive to the question. Whether he'll have an answer that will work for us right away, I just don't know. Okay?
Andrew, do you know what we're talking about?
Not specifically.
There was a historian, businessman, owned a newspaper and just worked so much with, and author, I don't know if I said that, historical author, Donald Tracer. And you know where the building is now? It's the Coast Guard Heritage Museum in Barnstable Village, brick. Two-story, next time you're up there.
Yeah.
It's a big, beautiful building built in 1856, if I'm wrong by a year, it might be.
55-ish.
Oh, so-
Thereabouts.
And
Depends on when they started and when
that
they finished.
building and the property are still owned by the town. But and my date won't be exact, but something like 2004, might have been 3. They had a request for proposals because the town didn't want to manage the building anymore. They're still gonna own it, but they didn't want to manage it.
But wasn't it the Tracer Museum at that time?
Yes. And
It was a
and what was in
collaborative
there
museum.
at that time was completely a historical, beautiful museum. I shouldn't say beautiful, it's not brutal, I have to think that, but, and what was in there though was items from all 7 villages. And people representing the committees running the whole building were from, but they did have one full-time and one very part-time employee from the town helping, so the town was involved. So it was chosen,
This
we have a
historical-
request for proposal, and someone put out that, and we got 2 answers back. One was from a historical society, and it was about 84 pages long, saying what they would do and make sure things went to the right town and blah, blah, blah. The other one was from an individual who didn't really have any plan for the building, and what he had was 2 pages on his proposal, and one of them was his resume, and one of them was a list, a description of the organization, which was basically a chart saying we would have board members, and he put his own name at the top. So it was pretty obvious for the committee that the one group seemed to have more going on, fitting into it better and so on.
Can I just ask you?
Yeah.
The group with the 84 pages,
Mm-hmm.
now, was that a plan to return the items to people who had donated, or was that
If
a plan
anyone-
to take custody and run the museum?
take
What was the-
custody,
What was
but-
the plan?
I have the 80-something pages, I can
But
give
you
it
can
to you.
summarize.
But it was probably to basically do things as planned, but also sensitive to giving things back to other villages.
Can I interject here just to help Andrew with a more succinct answer for a moment, and then you
Okay.
certainly keep going. The long and short of this is that there were a number of artifacts that were not properly
Right. Well, that's what I was
accessioned
just
by
gonna
the organizations that resided in that building up to this point.
We were
And
deciding which group was going to be handling
they
them.
they
you know,
had,
or own
they
them
had a
even.
form.
Now,
And so the town took
They
that.
did have a list of, at the time of a group giving a door, a photograph or whatever, they were giving things back to things that were obviously on paper accounted for. But there was a huge amount of things, like a judge, beautiful oil painting. I have 108 pictures of going to the building that I'm gonna describe to you now, which is my biggest concern, well, one of my biggest, of all these things, all these items, I mean, furniture, photographs, china, dishes, all from one way to the other, and an awful lot of it was very obviously from one group, like from Tales of Cape Cod or from Marston's Mills Historical Society. Some of it, they were going to have to figure things out, which they will have to do now anyway. But it was all stored on the second floor of 200 Main Street, which was where for a while our government was, which was an old lumber company. Do you know where I mean? On the north side of East Main Street. Anyway, you'll see this big building there. So the second floor has no heat, no air conditioning, no humidity control. And we've had so many items up there. I mean, I meant to bring pictures today and I could bring them.
So it's a miracle that these artifacts survived.
Yeah.
They've been up there for
Over
more than 20 years.
now. And people
They've been
who should
well,
have gotten them back are probably deceased now. The whole thing is so sad, and I don't quite understand why all of that not only happened, like why the town manager told the people who earned and were receiving the management of the building, why they were told, because I don't think I quite got into that. I was in the room. He said, well, if you can't join with them, I got to use him, so you're out. So it went from a group of 501c3 people, historians, to one personal individual. And it took a few years to find something to put in there, and I must say, I was in the Coast Guard, and I love that it's the Coast Guard Heritage Museum. Really do. But
the process,
items
the
were-
process was ugly,
Yeah,
let's face it.
crazy.
And I
Absolutely
want to
crazy.
wrap this up a little
Yeah,
bit if I
yeah,
can. I
okay.
know it brings on energy for those of us who were involved. Nancy was, I was on the fringes of it. We remember it a little too well sometimes. And we're looking for a fix. The fix is that these artifacts that have been captive for all these years and remarkably did survive,
And some
and
did.
have been beautifully cataloged. And
Yes.
I credit the town for doing that. It was a superb job. It's time to move on. They should be distributed and taken out of jeopardy in that hellhole of an attic. And the idea that they all need to be appraised first, I would like just to have an explanation for that, because it seems to be holding up the whole process.
Can we invite someone to our meeting?
I don't really want to
Explain
publicly grill someone. That's not my purpose. We could later if
But
we
we
needed
need-
to, but I think
We
we
need
can,
something, we need an answer.
Sure.
yeah.
I will inquire with SMA.
We can work on that,
See
and
where
as
they
I
are
said
in the
earlier,
process.
several of us know David, if he has an answer, we can get it
Yeah.
personally as well. I'm not too worried about that, I'm just not sure what's it gonna take to, shake the tree and make it move. Thank you, Nancy, though. It's hard not to get the blood pressure up with this stuff, I know that, I do too.
I've said this many times.
Yeah, it's a tough thing.
Can we get someone from Antiques Roadshow?
There you go.
So we've seen the collection, I don't think there's anything in there that's quite rises to that occasion, but you never know.
Speak for yourself.
I have also discussion of any upcoming historical events. Anybody have anything? I don't know of anything personally.
Within the next month,
I can
I'm doing
report that I
something
did
for
attend the
Sophia.
CPC annual
Yeah.
meeting last night, and it was interesting and good, and I think it's okay
What
to
was the
report
meeting?
the CPC annual meeting, we all received notice of it. And I would encourage you to read the CPC 2026 plan,
Yes.
action plan. It has some interesting parts, but just read the historical component, which is principally the last one, and it's quite comprehensive. And I didn't bring with me the notes that I copied out of it, but I want to say that, again, kudos to planning and development and also CPC. They've been listening over the last year, and they included a couple of things in their plan that acknowledge our interest in having a low-interest revolving fund as an antidote to help some incidents of demolition by neglect possibly, and it's something we've discussed here at this commission, and it's something our subcommittee discussed back in the would we have a regulation about that or not days. And the other was to contemplate offering CPC fund or CPA funds to private property owners for their properties if they qualify. And the qualifications are a pretty high bar, and they need to be. They're the same high bar everybody else meets, but seeing that in the language was pleasant. There's all steps in the right direction. And honestly, CPC's been a source of funding for historic preservation, the likes of which we've not ever seen before, and it's unique. So, kudos to them. The other thing I want to probably conclude with here is just under the matters not reasonably anticipated. I didn't have time to anticipate it, but I did just learn at the end of last week by email from the Cape Cod Commission that 49 Putnam Avenue has been withdrawn from the Cape Cod Commission, which is a major thing and a huge question mark for all of us, meaning what? We don't know what next. It was withdrawn without prejudice, according to the email I received from
The guy who wanted to disassemble the house.
disassemble it and
that's
move
the
it,
one.
yeah, the one with the monster hearing and that one, you
that
got
was
it.
fun.
It's still a very big deal, and we're not quite sure what will happen, so ears to the ground and see. And there are plenty of people watching and listening to it, obviously, but, and last but not least, I think you all know that Sarah Korjeff retired on the 16th of October. I haven't gotten there, but I'm hoping that she might be available on a private client basis for people to consult with, and I'm figuring these architects and all, they're gonna sort that out on their own. But she left behind a couple of individuals at the commission who she's partly trained and who are gonna field requests and comments and referrals in the future. But I'm guessing they're gonna be a while finding a Sarah Korjeff if they're even looking for a replacement, and it may be they would outsource it on a private basis, and we're better to go than, in my personal opinion, back to Sarah, if she would tolerate that, but we'll see. That's kind of the end of my news stream.
So,
Yeah, sorry, Don, anything else from you?
yes. Two questions, actually. One, Jack Kay told me, he thought that there were artifacts in this building. But as far as I know, they're all at the old Hinckley building.
I don't know of any artifacts in this building. Probably 45 years ago, a member of the Historical Commission and who was a vice president of the Osterville Historical Society, and I, Barbara Crosby, spent time in the basement of what now is the JFK Museum,
That's,
the original, or not the original, one of the Barnstable Town Halls.
Yep.
And there is a vault down there that was being treated as an archives of town materials. And we were going through and cataloging them and putting them in preservation boxes and stuff, and I haven't seen or heard a thing about that in 25 years.
So we don't know.
So that would
What
be
it means, I don't
interesting to
know, and if
find
it's
out.
something that Jack might know something about, I don't
I don't,
know.
he actually told me it was upstairs in this building, and
I'm not aware of anything. Charlie, you ever heard
Would you
anything like
maybe
that?
look
I'm not
into
aware of
what's in
anything like
the
that.
JFK Museum?
I mean,
somewhere?
upstairs in this building is
Potentially, yeah,
a
sure.
couple
Maybe
of
I can-
departments, right?
I can
Yeah.
ask
I
questions.
forget who's up there now, I've been up all those
So,
stairs in years, but. Used to
anyway,
be IT.
Storage space left.
it was,
So there's not much storage space, right? That's the thing.
so then, and my other question, the Form Bs that
Yes.
haven't been processed. So where are they? And what's the story on access to them?
So they are in a state of limbo, waiting for a planning and survey grant to help verify, rewrite, or update the existing ones that are either flawed or had not yet been submitted to MHC, and the ones remaining to be submitted had issues of one sort or another.
So
some
are
of
they
which-
at the old Hinckley building? Are
No, I
they
believe they're
here?
in the planning and development office,
Okay.
okay?
So,
And if you wanted to see one, I'm guessing you could go in and speak with Corey or Erica and, track it down that way, or send them an email and give them some warning.
Erica.
Yeah.
Well,
When did you
email-
say that?
email's always the
Yeah.
most convenient way.
So, I mean, they're not on Macris, so you can't look them up that way.
Well, no, that's,
And,
I
and
know.
because, and they're, most of them, to my knowledge, not extant on any of the historical societies' websites, but some of them could be. For instance, some of the ones from Katuitt might be posted by the Historical Society, even though they're not in Macris, because they may have been given copies by the person who
By
did the
Jim.
inventory, by Jim in most cases. So, I mean, those are two places to go and to look. And since you asked, I was on a informational Zoom today that was, does that acronym stand for? MACP? Anyway, Michael Steinitz was one of the presenters, and some of the others, you put me onto this thing, and I registered for it. I forgot what the name of the organization was, I'm embarrassed.
Yeah,
But at any rate, it was at a state level preservation training thing. And it became clear that planning and development grant money through MHC is going to be restricted in 2026 to CLG governments. They do not anticipate having enough funds to spread them elsewhere, and we are not yet a CLG government, so this may need to get re-raised. It's a complicated process, whether we even qualify right now or not, I don't know, and I'm not trying to throw that as a curveball at Corey right now. We talked about it a year or so ago, and I think pushed it aside for a bit.
CLT government?
CLG, Certified Local
Certified
Government. It's a specific process that if we qualify properly in the eyes of Mass Historical Commission, we as
National Park Service.
and National Park Service, that's right, we qualify for the 10% top of the grant money coming from the feds to the state. It's distributed to CLG governments, they get first crack at the 10%. What was being said in the Zoom today is that's probably all there'll be. There won't be anything but that which will be delivered to the CLG governments. So we're gonna have to look elsewhere for grant funding, whatever that'll mean. And it may mean that getting the Form Bs cranked and getting new inventory forms done, even in the minority neighborhoods, which I've proposed and we've agreed is a good idea, is maybe gonna take a while to get it figured out and funded, which,
Well, I think you guys also said that the state's, or maybe Erica, the state's leaning in the direction of only accepting something that's professionally done,
that's also
which
correct.
involves more money.
It does. Yep.
But nobody knows where that would come
Yeah,
from.
it's gonna be hard to step in or step up as volunteers to solve the problem or close the gap, which,
Right.
and
When you say professionally, someone who has
A consultant who charges an arm and a leg for every hour they work.
well, maybe just an arm, but, they charge a fee.
Well, generally the forms are a fixed fee from a consultant, so it's not,
Good
an
point.
hourly rate to do a form, it's,
Per form.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it could be $250, probably more from when I was
For a
involved
form,
with a
for one
project.
form.
It could be
Well,
more, $3 to $400
Think of the time
a
involved in
form.
preparing one, even if you're up to speed and doing it routinely, it's a long process. I mean, there's title research, there's historical research, and look at the bibliography or resources, references at the bottom of a Form B, and the better the Form B, the longer the list of references and the more work was involved in producing it as a high-quality document, and, you know, that's a big deal.
Way back, we had someone like Jim Gould, or I did some, I know you did.
I did some, Martin Wharton
Martin
did some,
Wharton,
we had, so that,
Wharton, they
then
had
you could
the tons.
volunteer.
But it was all just done by volunteers and people trusted, it's different.
To be fair
different
to
ways.
MHC, I think they were suffering under the impact of many forms produced with different and varying levels of quality. And it became a
Yeah.
real buzzsaw for them to figure out how to deal with them. I don't think they were trying to make anybody wealthy. I think they were trying to sort it out to make it more manageable as they're trying to
You know,
scan
the
things in.
homeowners were being given a fair
Yeah.
testing of where they lived and what was
Yeah.
happening there.
So meanwhile, every day goes by, I wish we had more inventoried buildings because we are seeing mid-century, 20th century buildings and earlier up for grabs with no inventory form. And even if we had one that's not submitted to MHC yet, it's still a document that's has some validity for points of discussion at a commission hearing.
You're gonna see more of that.
We do need more of that. Maybe we should volunteer and do some. And
Well,
hand them over to the consultant, eventually make their job easier, but meanwhile, we would even have a document to work with, especially if we wanted to cherry pick some buildings that we're quite sure should have been inventoried and aren't. I'm speculating right off the top, and I'm not supposed to do this with an open mic, but I'm doing it anyway. I mean, what the heck? Where's the harm?
Let them fire him.
I'm not spending anybody's money doing it, so. I think we're pretty much wrapped up. Does anybody else have any thoughts, questions, comments? John, thank you for clerking.
Yeah, no, that,
It suits you
I
up.
will actually just a comment on that and inventory, and then that is, as I'm sure you know, the east end of Hyannis from Main Street and 28, that triangle down by the
Yep.
hospital. Okay, that is a growth incentive zone.
It most certainly is.
That is also home to many 19th century and early 20th century buildings, which might as well have bullseyes on them.
I was gonna say, there's not too
might
many of them
impact.
left, you know.
Well, there's actually a surprising number if you walk around.
I agree. So quite a few commercial buildings have been redeveloped and kept a fair bit of their historical skin, surprising me.
Residents too.
Yeah, well, maybe
Yeah.
it's to the credit to the residents, maybe it's credit partly to this commission.
I mean, residences have been saved, like, to me, the classic one
residences.
is Pleasant Street at the end on the southwest side. They were taking down a building, Andrew, a house, because they wanted to put up a parking lot. It was a commercial enterprise. And, you know, just like the song, put up a parking lot. He's too young to know the song. But anyway,
They
they,
paved Paradise and put up a
Thank
park.
you,
Yeah.
Andrew. I had a feeling you were gonna do that.
So-
Good man.
the town and us citizens all got together and somehow we got the house to be moved by the town from where it was, not too far away, to the Pleasant Street, again, the southwest corner. And it's now a house sitting, well, long story, so I won't get into all that. But anyway, it's sitting there and it's affordable housing. So that was a win-win for everybody. And I'd like to see more of those things happening.
Yeah,
I would be willing to entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move that we
Unless I'm
adjourn.
interrupting anything critically
Seconded.
important. It's been moved and seconded.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. By acclamation, I'm not even gonna ask for any nay votes. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank
I'll
you.
try to be a little less rusty next performance.